me tell you a story from the province of Cyrodiil, the heart of the Empire of Tamriel. This is a tale of gates opening to hellish realms, of emperors and assassins, of a hero rising from the shadows of a prison cell to save the world. So rest now, breathe deeply, and drift away as I guide you through the crisis that nearly destroyed everything. The prison cell. You wake in darkness, in a cell deep beneath the Imperial City. The stone is cold and damp. Rats scurry in the corners. You don't remember your crime, don't remember how long you've been here. Time passes strangely in the Imperial prison, marked only by the occasional visit from guards who slide meals through a slot in your door. But today is different. Today, voices echo in the hallway outside your cell. The sound of armored boots on stone, urgent and purposeful. Torchlight flickers beyond your door. And then you hear a voice, commanding and authoritative, giving orders to move quickly. Your cell door opens. Not to let you out, but because it conceals something else. A secret passage in the back wall grinds open, revealing a hidden tunnel. And through that passage comes a group unlike any you've seen. 4 blades, elite warriors in distinctive armor, move into your cell with weapons drawn. They're protecting someone, surrounding him in a defensive formation. And that someone is an old man in fine robes, his bearing regal despite the circumstances. He looks at you, really looks at you, and his eyes widen with recognition. Not because he knows you personally, but because of something else, something he sees in your face or perhaps in his dreams. This is Emperor Uriel Septim VII, ruler of Tamriel, and he's fleeing through secret passages beneath his own palace. The blades are wary. Their captain, Bauruz, insists you're a complication they don't need. But the Emperor overrules him. He's seen you in his dreams, visions that have plagued him for months. Dreams of a stranger in a prison cell, dreams of his own death, dreams of darkness consuming the world. And now here you are, exactly as he foresaw. You have no choice but to follow as they move through the passage. The Emperor explains as you travel through ancient tunnels. There's been an assassination attempt. His sons are already dead, killed by a mysterious cult called the Mythic Dawn. He's the last of his line, and they're coming for him. The group moves through the tunnels, through natural caverns and worked stone, past ancient gates and forgotten chambers. These passages were built long ago, escape routes for emperors in times of crisis. Rats and goblins infest them now, creatures that scatter before the blades advance. But the assassins find you anyway. They appear from the shadows, cultists in dark robes wielding cruel daggers. The blades fight them off, but not without cost. One of the blades falls, then another. The Emperor remains calm, accepting his fate with the dignity of a man who's ruled for decades, who's seen too much to fear death. In a final chamber, with the exit in sight, the last assassins strike. They kill the remaining blades. They corner the Emperor. And as you watch, helpless or fighting alongside him, they drive their daggers home. Emperor Uriel Septim VII dies before your eyes. But in his final moments, he gives you something, the Amulet of Kings, the sacred symbol of the Empire, the key to the dragon fires that have protected Tamriel for thousands of years. He tells you to find someone named Jafar, to take the amulet to him. It's the only hope left. Then he's gone, and you're alone with his body and the amulet heavy in your hands. Into the light. You emerge from the tunnels into daylight, into the sprawling landscape of Cyrodiil. The province stretches before you, a land of rolling hills and ancient forests, cities and ruins, all centered around the great Lake Romar and the Imperial City on its island. The weight of what just happened settles on you. The Emperor is dead. His entire bloodline is gone. And you're carrying the most important artifact in the Empire, the Amulet of Kings, which should never have left the palace. The Emperor mentioned Jafar. Before he died, Bauruz, the last blade, told you where to find him, a small chapel called Waynon Priory, near the city of Coral. It's your only lead, the only path forward. But you're free now. The prison is behind you. You could go anywhere, do anything. The cities of Cyrodiil are open to you, the imperial city with its white stone districts, Coral in its forests, Bruma in the northern mountains, Skingrad among its vineyards, Chetanel with its dark architecture, Laoian in the southern swamps, Breville with its poverty and crime, Anvil on the Gold Coast, and Kvatch, which you'll learn about soon enough. You make your way toward Waynon Priory, through the countryside of Cyrodiil. The land is beautiful, pastoral in a way that seems almost peaceful. Sheep graze in fields. Deer bound through forests. The sun shines warmly, and the cities in the distance look prosperous and safe. But there are dangers too. Bandits lurk on the roads. Wild animals defend their territories. Ancient ruins that the landscape, alien structures built by the ancient elves who once ruled here, now empty and haunted. Waynon Priory. Waynon Priory is a small, peaceful place. A chapel dedicated to the Nine Divines sits among well-tended gardens. A few monks go about their duties, tending plants and maintaining the grounds. This seems an unlikely place to find one of the legendary blades. But Jafar is here, posing as a simple monk. He's an older man, weathered and wise, who's been waiting in quiet retirement for years. When you present him with the Amulet of Kings and tell him what happened, his peaceful life ends. Jafar is devastated. The Emperor dead, his sons murdered, the Septim line ended. This is the crisis he's feared, the nightmare scenario. Without a Septim heir to light the dragon fires in the Temple of the One, the barriers between Tamriel and Oblivion will weaken. The Empire will fall into chaos. But he hasn't been completely idle in his retirement. He knows a secret. Emperor Uriel had another son, illegitimate but with true Septim blood. The boy's name is Martin, and he's living quietly as a priest in the chapel at Kvatch. He doesn't know his true heritage, believes himself to be the orphan son of a farmer. Jafar asks you to go to Kvatch, to find Martin and bring him to safety. With him, there's still hope. A true heir can light the dragon fires, can seal the barriers, can save the Empire. You agree to go, and Jafar gives you what help he can. Equipment, supplies, advice. He also mentions that Bauru survived the sewers and is investigating the mythic Dawn cult in the Imperial City. If you want to help track down the Emperor's assassins, seek out Bauru's. But first, Martin. First, Kvatch. The gates open. The road to Kvatch takes you southwest, toward the Gold Coast. It's a journey of a day or two, through forests and over hills. Other travelers pass you on the road, merchants and pilgrims going about their business. Everything seems normal. Until you see the smoke. It rises from where Kvatch should be, a pillar of black against the blue sky. As you get closer, you start seeing refugees, people fleeing in terror, babbling about demons and fire, about a gate opening and hell itself pouring through. When you crest the final hill and see Kvatch, your blood runs cold. The city burns. But worse than the fire is what stands before it, a massive gate of oblivion, a towering structure of dark metal and burning stone, a portal to the realm of Marun's Dagon, the Daedric Prince of Destruction. Demons pour through the gate, scamps and Glanfears and other creatures that shouldn't exist in Tamriel. A small group of guards has set up a camp on the hill above the city, the survivors of Kvatch's defense. Their captain, a Nord named Savlian Macius, is organizing a desperate counterattack. They need to close the gate, need to get into the city to rescue any survivors. You volunteer to enter the gate. Someone has to. And maybe, just maybe, Martin is still alive in the city beyond. Inside Oblivion. Stepping through an Oblivion gate is like entering a nightmare. The realm of Marun's Dagon is a twisted hellscape of burning rock and rivers of lava, of towers of dark stone connected by bridges that span chasms of fire. The sky is red, filled with floating rocks and the distant shapes of larger demons. Everything here wants you dead. Scamps hurl fireballs from a distance. Clanfears charge with tooth and claw. The very ground seems hostile, the heat oppressive, the air thick with sulfur and ash. You navigate the hellish landscape, fighting through demons, searching for the gate's source. Each Oblivion gate is sustained by a sigil stone at the top of its main tower. Remove the stone, and the gate collapses. The towers of Oblivion are mazes of corridors and chambers, filled with traps and enemies. You climb higher, through torture chambers and summoning halls, past pools of lava and across bridges of bone. The architecture is alien, designed by an intelligence that thinks nothing like mortals do. At the tower's peak, you find the sigil stone, a glowing artifact of immense power hovering in the air. You take it, feel the energy crackling through your hands, and the tower begins to collapse around you. Reality tears. The Oblivion realm destabilizes. You're thrown back through the gate as it implodes, collapsing in on itself, sealing shut. The demons in Cyrodiil, cut off from their realm, are quickly dispatched by the grateful guards. Kvatch is saved. Or what's left of it. The city itself is in ruins, most of its population dead. But there are survivors barricaded in the chapel, and among them is Martin. Martin Septim. Martin is younger than you expected, a man in his 30s with kind eyes and a scholar's bearing. He's been helping tend to the wounded, offering what comfort he can to his fellow survivors. When you tell him who he really is, he doesn't believe you. The son of the Emperor. Heir to the throne. It's absurd. He's just a priest, a student of history and theology, someone who chose a quiet life of service. His father was a farmer. His mother died when he was young. There must be some mistake. But Jaffer confirms it when you bring Martin to Waynon Priory. He's known about Martin for years, has been watching over him from a distance. Martin is indeed Uriel Septim's son, conceived in the Emperor's youth, sent away to be raised in secret for his own protection. Martin struggles with this revelation. His entire understanding of himself has been upended. But before he can fully process it, disaster strikes again. The Mythic Dawn attacks Waynon Priory. They've learned where Martin is, and they want him dead. They also want the Amulet of Kings. You fight them off, protecting Martin and Jaffer, but in the chaos, the cultists steal the amulet. Everything you've done, and now the single most important artifact in the Empire is in enemy hands. Without it, Martin can't light the Dragon fires even if he wanted to. The Mythic Dawn has won. Jaffer makes a decision. You need to get Martin to Cloud Ruler Temple, the secret fortress of the Blades in the mountains north of Bruma. There, he'll be safe while you figure out how to retrieve the amulet. Cloud Ruler Temple. The journey to Cloud Ruler Temple takes you north into the Gerald Mountains that separate Cyrodiil from Skyrim. The air grows colder, snow begins to fall. The temple itself is ancient, built into the mountainside, a fortress that has stood for thousands of years. The Blades who remain gather here now, sworn to protect Martin. He's their new master, the heir they've been waiting for. They kneel before him, pledge their lives to his service. Martin is uncomfortable with this, still struggling to accept his role. But he's also practical. He knows what's at stake. If the Dragon fires aren't lit, the barriers between Tamriel and Oblivion will fail completely. Marun's Dagon will be able to manifest fully in Cyrodiil, and nothing will stop him from destroying everything. Martin throws himself into research. He's a scholar, and if there's an answer to be found in books, he'll find it. He studies the Mythic Dawn, tries to understand their goals, searches for any weakness. Meanwhile, Jaffer asks you to help defend Bruma. Oblivion gates are opening all over Cyrodiil now, and Marun's Dagon's invasion is beginning in earnest. The city of Bruma, closest to Cloud Ruler Temple, is particularly vulnerable. If it falls, Martin falls. The Siege of Bruma. Bruma is a Nord city, its people hardy and used to hardship. But nothing has prepared them for this. Oblivion gates open in the countryside around the city. Demons pour through, attacking farms and outlying settlements. The city guard fights valiantly, but they're outnumbered. You help where you can, closing gates, rescuing citizens, bolstering the defense. Each gate you close is a small victory, each demon you kill one less threat to the city. You can also travel to the other cities of Cyrodiil, asking their rulers to send aid to Bruma. Some are willing, understanding the threat. Others are reluctant, worried about their own cities, their own people. Politics and self-interest continue even as the world burns. But slowly, you gather allies. Soldiers from across Cyrodiil march to Bruma's defense. The city becomes an armed camp, preparing for the siege everyone knows is coming. Martin continues his research. He discovers that the Mythic Dawn cult is led by a man named Maker Cameron, who's written a book outlining his philosophy. If you can get a copy of this book, Martin might be able to learn something useful. Baurus contacts you from the Imperial City. He's been investigating the cult and has a lead on obtaining Cameron's book. It's dangerous, but it's your best chance. The Path of Dawn. You meet Baurus in the Imperial City, in the shops and streets of the great metropolis. He's found a Mythic Dawn agent who's willing to sell a copy of the Mysterium Xarxes, Maker Cameron's unholy text. But it's obviously a trap. The meeting takes place in the sewers beneath the city, in the same dark passages where the Emperor died. The cultist is there with the book, but so are his allies, hidden and waiting. When the ambush comes, Baurus fights beside you, but he may fall protecting you, another blade giving his life for the mission. You fight your way out with the book, a tome bound in what looks disturbingly like skin, its pages filled with mad ravings about paradise and destruction. The text itself is corrupted, wrong in a fundamental way that makes your eyes hurt to read. You bring it to Martin at Cloud Ruler Temple. He studies it carefully, using all his scholarly training to parse Cameron's twisted philosophy. And he finds something crucial. The book describes Maker Cameron's paradise, a realm of oblivion he's created where the Mythic Dawn faithful wait for their god's victory. It's separate from Marun's Dagon's realm, a pocket of reality sustained by Cameron's will. And the Amulet of Kings is there, kept safe in Cameron's palace. Martin believes he can open a portal to this paradise. It will require rare components, artifacts of power scattered across Cyrodiil. And once the portal is open, someone will have to go through, find Cameron, and retrieve the amulet. That someone, of course, will be you. Gathering the components. Martin gives you a list. He needs a Daedric artifact, a powerful magical item. He needs a great Welkin stone from an Ayleid ruin. He needs a great soul gem filled with the soul of a powerful being. And he needs the blood of a divine, the armor worn by Tiber Septim himself when he ascended to godhood. Each component requires a quest, an adventure in its own right. For the Daedric artifact, you seek out one of the Daedric princes. Perhaps you help Ashura reclaim her shrine and receive her star. Perhaps you aid Meridia in cleansing undead from her temple and claim her ring. Perhaps you venture into Shiagaratha's realm of madness, the Shivering Isles, and return with his Wabajak. The choice is yours, but you need a powerful artifact. The Welkin Stone requires delving into an Ayleid ruin, the ancient underground cities built by the elves who ruled Cyrodiil before humans overthrew them. These ruins are beautiful and deadly, filled with traps and undead guardians. But in their deepest chambers, great Welkin stones still glow with magical energy. The Great Soul Gem is perhaps the most morally complex component. You need need to capture a powerful soul, which means killing someone or something of significant magical power. Martin wrestles with this requirement, but there's no alternative. The ritual demands it. And finally, Tiber Septim's armor rests in the Tomb of the Blades, a sacred site where the Order's greatest relics are kept. Retrieving it requires proving yourself worthy, passing tests designed to honor the memory of Tiber Septim, the man who became the god Talos. You gather these components over days or weeks of adventure, traveling across Cyrodiil, facing dangers and making difficult choices. And finally, you return to Cloud Ruler Temple with everything Martin needs. Paradise. Martin performs the ritual, speaking words of power, combining the components in a precise sequence. Reality tears. A portal opens, swirling with colors that shouldn't exist, leading to Maker Cameron's paradise. You step through into a realm of twisted beauty. The sky is a strange color, the landscape a corruption of natural forms. The mythic Dawn cultists who live here have been transformed, made immortal in this pocket of oblivion, forever serving their master. But immortality in Cameron's paradise comes with a cost. The cultists are trapped here, endlessly dying and resurrecting, experiencing the horrors of this place over and over. Some have gone mad. Others cling desperately to their faith, believing their suffering serves a greater purpose. You fight through the paradise, past cultists and demons, toward Cameron's palace. The architecture is grand but wrong, following rules of geometry that don't quite make sense. Gardens grow with plants that seem almost alive with malice. In the throne room, you finally meet Maker Cameron himself. He's an elderly altmare, but his eyes burn with fanatical certainty. He's completely mad, but his madness has power. He believes Maroon's Dagon will remake the world into something better, will purge it of corruption and weakness. He offers you a place in paradise, a chance to serve the true God. When you refuse, he attacks with all the power at his disposal, magic that bends reality, summoning demons to fight alongside him. The battle is desperate. Cameron is perhaps the most powerful mage you've faced, wielding magic that should be impossible. But you persevere, fighting through his defenses, striking him down. When Cameron dies, his paradise begins to collapse. He was sustaining this realm with his will, and now that will is gone. You grab the Amulet of Kings from his throne and run as reality tears apart around you. You're thrown back through the portal, tumbling into Cloud Ruler Temple with the amulet clutched in your hands. The portal slams shut behind you. You've done it. You have the Amulet of Kings. The Great Gate. But there's no time to celebrate. Word arrives from Bruma, a great gate is opening. Not a normal Oblivion gate, but something far larger, a gate designed to allow a massive siege engine through. If that siege engine reaches Bruma's walls, the city will fall. Martin insists on coming with you. He's tired of hiding while others fight. He's the heir to the Empire, and he needs to act like it. Together, you race to Bruma. The Great Gate towers over the landscape, enormous beyond anything you've seen. And emerging from it is a siege crawler, a massive construct of dark metal and Daedric engineering, bristling with weapons and fire. You have to close the gate before the siege engine gets through. You charge into Oblivion one more time, racing through a realm specifically designed as a staging ground for invasion. The siege crawler rumbles forward slowly, inexorably, while you sprint through the Hell's Cape searching for the Sigil Stone. It's a race against time. Demons try to stop you, but you can't afford to fight them all. You dodge, run, leap across chasms and through corridors of fire. The tower holding the Sigil Stone is massive, requiring you to climb higher and higher while the siege crawler advances. You reach the Sigil Stone just as the siege engine approaches the gate. You rip the stone free, and the entire realm collapses. The gate slams shut with the siege engine only halfway through, destroying it completely. Bruma is saved. The soldiers cheer. Martin looks looks at you with respect and something like friendship. You've proven yourself a hero beyond question. But this was just the beginning. Maroon's Dagon is preparing for his final move. The Temple of the One. Martin knows what must be done. He must take the Amulet of Kings to the Temple of the One in the Imperial City and light the Dragon fires. It's a ritual that every emperor has performed upon taking the throne, renewing the barriers between Tamriel and Oblivion. But there's a problem. The ritual requires the heir to be crowned emperor first. And with the Elder Council in disarray and the mythic Dawn Cult still active in the city, a simple coronation is impossible. Martin decides to force the issue. He'll go to the Temple of the One and light the Dragon fires whether the Council approves or not. The barriers must be renewed, and there's no more time for politics. You travel together to the Imperial City, through the Great Gates, into the heart of the Empire. The city is tense, guards everywhere, citizens afraid. Oblivion gates have been opening even in sight of the palace. The crisis has reached its peak. You make your way to the Temple District, toward the Temple of the One where the Dragon fires have burned for thousands of years. Martin carries the Amulet of Kings, the weight of destiny on his shoulders. And then Maroon's Dagon makes his move. The battle for the Imperial City. The sky tears open. Not an Oblivion gate this time, but something far worse. Maroon's Dagon himself breaks through the barriers, his true form manifesting in Tamriel for the first time in history. He's enormous, a demon god the size of a building, made of red skin and fire, horns and blades. His very presence is an affront to reality. Demons pour into the Imperial City from multiple gates. Citizens flee in terror. The Imperial Legion marches out to fight, soldiers facing creatures from nightmare. The city becomes a battlefield, fire and screaming, heroism and death. You fight alongside Martin toward the Temple of the One. Every step is a struggle through chaos. Scamps and clanfears swarm the streets. Dremora warriors in full armor challenge you directly. And above it all, Maroon's Dagon tears through buildings, destroying everything in his path. The Blades fight with you, giving their lives to protect Martin. Citizens take up arms, defending their city with desperate courage. But it's not enough. Maroon's Dagon is a god, and gods don't fall to mortal weapons. You reach the Temple of the One, helping Martin climb the steps to the entrance. Behind you, the city burns. Maroon's Dagon approaches, each step shaking the ground. There's no time for the full ritual, no time for coronation. Martin understands what he has to do. There's only one way to stop Maroon's Dagon now, only one way to renew the barriers and save Tamriel. He tells you goodbye, thanks you for everything you've done. He's proud to have known you, proud to have fought beside you. Then Martin shatters the Amulet of Kings. The Avatar of Akatosh. The amulet explodes with divine light. Martin's form begins to change, his body consumed and reformed by the power of Akatosh, the dragon god of time, chief of the Nine Divines. He grows, transforms, becomes something more than mortal. A dragon of fire and light emerges from the temple, massive and terrible and beautiful. This is the Avatar of Akatosh, the physical manifestation of the god, channeled through Martin's sacrifice. And it faces Maroon's Dagon directly, god against god. The battle shakes the foundations of the Imperial City. Dragon and demon clash in combat beyond mortal understanding, fire and fury and divine power. Buildings collapse from the shockwaves. The sky itself seems to crack. But Akatosh is the stronger. The dragon god seizes Maroon's Dagon, drives him back, forces the demon through the barriers he broke. Reality reasserts itself. The Daedric Prince is cast back into Oblivion, defeated, his invasion ended. The remaining demons in the city, cut off from their lord, flee or are destroyed. The Oblivion gates slam shut, all across Cyrodiil, never to open again. The crisis is over. Tamriel is saved. The avatar of Akatosh returns to the Temple of the One. The dragon's form becomes stone, a statue frozen in a pose of eternal vigilance. And Martin is gone, his sacrifice complete, transformed into a permanent barrier between the mortal world and Oblivion. The dragon fires don't need to burn anymore. Martin's sacrifice has renewed the compact in a way that will last forever. The barriers are sealed not with ritual but with the life of the last Septim, the last heir of the dragon blood. The champion. You stand in the ruins of the temple district, surrounded by exhausted soldiers and relieved citizens. Chancellor Okado of the Elder Council finds you, thanks you for everything you've done. You're a hero, the champion of Cyrodiil, the one who saved the Empire. But Martin is gone. The Septim line has ended. The Empire has no emperor, no heir, no dynasty to lead it forward. The third era has ended, and the fourth era begins in uncertainty. Okado asks what you'll do now. The Empire needs heroes, needs people willing to stand against threats, to protect the innocent. But the choice is yours. You've earned the right to choose your own path. Epilogue, your story continues. The Oblivion crisis is over, but Cyrodiil remains, vast and full of possibilities. You can explore every ruin, can help every city, can join guilds and forge your own legend. The Fighters Guild needs someone to root out corruption in its ranks and defeat an ancient vampire. The Mages Guild requires a new archmage after a crisis threatens to tear it apart. The Thieves Guild wants someone to restore its luck and discover the truth behind the Grey Fox. The Dark Brotherhood has contracts for a skilled assassin, leading to dark revelations about the Night Mother herself. The arena in the Imperial City offers glory for those who can fight their way to Grand Champion. Daedric Princes offer quests and artifacts for those brave or foolish enough to serve them. Vampirism and lycanthropy offer different paths to power, each with its own costs. You can buy homes in each city, can collect treasures and rare items, can simply wander the countryside discovering hidden caves and forgotten shrines. The Shivering Isles, the realm of Shiagarath, offer an entire new land to explore, with its own crisis and its own story. The world is yours to explore, to shape, to enjoy. You've saved the Empire, but your adventures don't end there. They continue as long as you wish, in whatever direction calls to you. Rest now, hero. So rest now, champion of Cyrodiil. Your journey has been long. You've walked through gates of Oblivion, have stood against demon gods, have witnessed the sacrifice of an emperor's son. You've seen the Imperial City burn and rise again, have fought beside blades and ordinary citizens alike, have changed the course of history. Sleep now, and dream of the forests of Cyrodiil, of the white gold tower gleaming in the sun. Dream of adventures waiting in ancient ruins, of secrets hidden in forgotten tombs. Dream of a world saved, of hope preserved, of heroes who rise from prison cells to become legends. The gates of Oblivion are closed. The barriers hold. And you, the hero of this tale, have earned your rest. Good night, champion. Your watch is ended.